Mama Africa, what a land filled with so much love. Mama Africa, so much to share, so much to see. Land where the people live in harmony. I did this song with Morgan Heritage. I'm singing Peter's part.
Welcome to another exciting edition. Today, with me in the studio, Reggae Connect Africa. You know, with me in the studio is the legendary, coming all the way from Malawi. Yeah, we told you on this program, we are the ones that are going to be doing it first, and you hear it first, and you're going to get it first. Yeah, with me, legendary. King Born African.
Yes,
How
sir.
you doing?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
I am in the presence of greatness right
Wow,
now.
wow.
How are you, my king?
No, I'm good, man. Life
Yeah.
is good. I'm good. I'm in good health. I'm fine.
You look out. You're still training. The last time.
Yeah.
The last time. Yeah, I'm not talking soccer.
No. No, I know what you're talking about. The running.
The run.
No, I still run.
Energetic. How many kilometers are you doing these days in the morning?
The list is 10 kilometers.
10 kilometers.
The most is when I go for the comrades,
For
which
you,
is 90, basically. So,
you've been running in the
I've done
comrades
comrades, bro.
to win or just for
No,
the passion?
Yo, the speedsters at comrades. Imagine somebody doing 90 kilometers in 5 hours. I do that in like 10 and a half hours. So for me, I love the whole culture of running. You mingle with different type of people, but also when I run, I resolve so many issues. I think a lot. Sometimes I've written songs while I'm running, but it's a beautiful culture. It's a beautiful space, but it's a motivational thing for me when if I say, because most people trust me. I'm 50 now. When I tell them I run comrade, they'll be like,
At 50?
"What?"
I can't. The last time I ran, so I play basketball.
I
So
know
the
that,
last
I
time,
know
the last time I ran, you know, you play with these younger boys. Hey,
I know. That's what I'm saying. The speedsters. So basketball would need fitness and agility at the same
At the
time,
same
and
time.
speed at the same
now
time.
this one is more about endurance.
Endurance. Yes, running is about endurance, and also your muscles gotta be tough. You know, it's mental also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mentally also you gotta be fit. You gotta be strong. It's a beautiful. I think one day I should take you for.
No, we should.
Yeah, you know.
I need to get rid of some extra something that has come over the years with being a
The
daddy.
beautiful part about the running concept is like you run your race. I'm not gonna try to run
And outshine the
that
other
one.
bit. Yeah, man.
You know, for me, as long as I'm within the cutoff time, I'm good. So I know my speed. I mean, I measure how much time I take for a kilometer or 5 kilometers. So I run within that range where I'm comfortable. I don't have to outdo myself. Because it's like you asked, it's not for me. It's not about winning, but again, it's about winning. Once I finish, whether it's a Soweto marathon, I've won. You know what I mean?
True.
So
True.
yeah.
All right, give thanks. Yeah, man. So it's the lifestyle. From the
Yes,
lifestyle,
yes,
from the lifestyle, let's go into something that you're very passionate about. You know, so I know for a fact that before the recording, there is the writing of the songs. You've just mentioned that you do some of that even as you run. You know, so just take me through in the art of writing a song.
Songs. Truly speaking, I'll speak of myself. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. You know, I've created songs in different ways. There's songs that I would start with a hook. There was a song that I would just start with the melody, and luckily with these modern gadgets, we can record just a humming. You humming a melody and record it on your phone. Back in the days, I used to have those little small recorders for like the ones reporters use.
Tape recorders.
I've had a lot of that, and it's a small tape. You put the batteries. I used to use that to record either a melody or words when they come. And I find that sometimes I have a song. It's just 4 lines, but the rest is not coming. Then I leave it. Some days you find that it's lyrics that come from from the start to the end,
end.
same time. So sometimes it's just a bass line that comes, you know. So yeah, it's beautiful because they happen differently. Sometimes it'll be you thinking of maybe something that you went through, and before you know it, words are just coming, rhymes are coming, words are coming, and it's just you try to suppress it, and it just comes.
They just keep coming.
And then sometimes you'll be sleeping in the night, in the middle of the night, you just wake up. Okay, I've always slept with a book on the side and a pen.
All right.
Because of that. Because sometimes I just wake up, no man, I had a song, where is it? And then it's gone.
It comes in a dream.
It gone. Then through reading some books of great writers, you pick up some teachings to say, no, that melody that you ignore could be a world hit. So I learned that when I have a melody, immediately, even if I'm driving, there's a chance I stop and make sure that I preserve that. So in the middle of the night, if I come up with a song, I wake up, brethren. If I have to record it on the phone, even if I have to sing it, sometimes I'll just maybe put like I'm sending a voice note to my woman. She wake up like, what is this? Like, no, I was saving some music knowledge here. Don't worry. Hey, send it back to me. So you wake up in the night. Sometimes you find out it's just lyrics. You know,
So, yeah.
luckily with me, I've never been in a situation, I would say, where I write lyrics but I don't have a melody. Most of my lyrics come with a melody. So when I'm taking it to a producer or whoever, I'm able to present it as an a cappella. So I would say, I guess maybe I'm blessed in that
department.
You know what I mean? But I'm also able to take somebody's writing and give it a melody.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a little difficult because some people just write like, they say maybe poetry without really having a melodious flow
To it.
like a speech. Let's say, for example, maybe it's just a speech, but you want to convert that speech into a musical piece. So I'm able to do that, and I would say it's part of the whole creative
element.
Yeah, man.
All right. So you'd actually advocate to have also other people write songs for you.
100%.
Because I see sometimes enough people think that if somebody writes for them, you know, that the glory is taken away.
Nah, I guess, yeah, you're right. And I guess they have their own reasons. Hence, I'll speak again of myself. For me, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind even doing the whole album, songs written by other people. Because I know still I'll contribute something creatively. Either it will be through arrangement, either it will be through, but I don't, if it's beautiful, I don't have to change a thing. You know what I mean? For me, the music is not just for me. The music is for the people out there. So if somebody maybe doesn't have the singing ability, voice type of thing to present it, but he's got the writing skills, I'm not going to try. Yeah, it's part of work. You know what I mean?
That's work.
I mean, from great artists out there, different genres, they have sung songs.
Ghostwriters.
Yeah, so who am I?
The girl that you got.
But I know sometimes people, it's a bit of greediness when they think of the royalties. Like, no, if I sing this person's song, he's the one who's going to be getting money when the song is a hit. But I don't put those ideas forward. But again, there's always a negotiating platform.
True.
You know, there's always
now it's now a project. It's our work.
Exactly. You know
makes
what I mean?
money. Let's eat it.
Let's all share and eat.
True that,
You know? And
true
I
that.
believe the cake is big. You know.
True that. In conversation today with a legendary born African, I've always said that, you know, some man them born American, some Jamaican, some born Zimbabwean, some Malawian, some South African, some Nigerian, but he is born African, and the program is Reggae Connect Africa. Catch us on live on YouTube. Yeah, Reggae Connect Africa. We're also there on Facebook, Reggae Connect Africa, and the email address is reggaeconnectafrica@gmail.com. TikTok, Reggae Connect Africa. Now, Elder, you is my elder since day one, you know. You is my elder, you know. So let's just let's go back growing up.
Yeah.
Because I believe I understand to be corrected, but you come from a musical family also, you know, where your uncle, you know, from makeshift
Influenced
instruments,
me. Yeah, man.
you know, from there,
man.
and your uncle influenced you, you know. Just take us back to you as a young boy in Malawi. What made you say that, okay, in everything, my career is going to be reggae music?
Yeah, man. Thanks for asking that question. It's really the major part of me being here as a singer or artist, if I may say. So, yeah, my uncle was had a band with homemade instruments, guitars, banjos. We used to call them banjos, you know.
Yeah.
And even their drum would be like made out of cow skins, whatever. So
Homemade,
yeah,
everything.
homemade, you know. And even the genre they were playing, I like the way you asked, like, why I decided reggae.
Yes.
The music they were playing was not reggae. It was just music that I wouldn't really know how to
Let's just say folklore music.
yeah, let's call it
traditional
that.
home.
Yeah, let's call it that. Thanks for that. You know, and they used to rehearse in the village every Thursday, because where my village is close to a school. So Thursday, there was sports, soccer, netball, whatever. So people from who attend the school but from different villages would come on Thursdays, and then he also took the opportunity to rehearse, and I think that was a marketing strategy, because when people are training and practicing soccer or netball, they would
He's
branch
also
off to listen to the music because we are close by. They'll hear the music noise, and then he would have a good crowd, honestly. And I got drawn into that. We are to a point by, I mean, when he's playing, we'll be dancing also, different people dancing. It was really like a little small entertainment thing going on, you know, on that Thursdays. And then some point, I remember he just said, I think the drummer was absent, who was also my uncle. I don't know what happened, but he was not showing up for that day. He didn't show up, and says, "Yo, Nelson, can you play the drums?" I'm like, I know how it goes. I know the repertoire, so
Yeah.
And I was
Because
playing,
you've always been there
always
with
been
them.
there, you know. Then I started playing, and I think many times now it happened that when that other uncle is absent, I would, you know, fill up his space, and then. Even way before that, I mean, back at home, I remember my moms and my dad, they used to play a lot of manja manja music, a lot of Aretha Franklin.
True.
And I used to hear Jimmy Cliff, Bob Marley, you know. I saw them, the two of them, they would play the records, you know, and
Yeah,
dance a lot.
vinyl.
And you just, yeah, the final. And you watch them, and I think, you know, and then my dad, from nowhere, he would just be singing. My mom would always be singing. I mean, I think now when after growing up, sitting with them and having that conversation, it's just from the family, like you said. It's from my grandfather in the village. I remember he had a solo career. I would say a solo career because he was singing in church, but he didn't want to merge with other people.
All right.
So I would say it's a solo career because he says other people mess up with my voice. I just want to sing alone
By myself,
He would
and yes.
stand at the podium and just sing, you know. And this guy had harmonies. He was. So yeah, I guess it's in the blood. It's in the family, you know. you know.
No school, just family vibes.
Nah, well, not really school. The school is just as growing up, you know, coming these shows. I've taken what I would say one-on-one lessons with different people on vocals, keyboards, guitars. So I wouldn't call it school, but I have taken music lessons like one-on-one.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
All right.
You have to sharpen and.
So how many instruments do you play? So for those of you that don't know, yeah, this is one person that I've known who loves instruments. Everything of his. How many instruments do you play?
I wish there were more, but I can play the guitar, a little bit of drums, which is my favorite instrument, and the keyboard. And mind you, I was taught vocals is my instrument too.
Yo.
So it's four. Oh, and percussions. Percussions go in line with the drums. But I love drums, and the percussions is my passion too. So yeah, you know. And honestly, I don't always have to be on the leading mic. If somebody wants me to play for them, I will do that. For me, music is everything. It's not about being in front of a band and singing or whatever. For me, even if
It's just the music.
yeah, even if I could engineer,
All right.
if I could engineer for somebody, trust
would
me,
still
I'm
do
willing
that.
to do that. Which is also part of the area in music that I love, engineering, especially for live performances. I think we need more people in that field.
In that regard.
Yeah. So I mean, it's never too late to learn. It's never too late to learn. So I guess I'll take some lessons. And if I could, let's say there's a show, and I mean, all they need is an engineer, and I'm there. Trust me,
You'll
money
definitely
aside, but
do
I'll
it.
be willing to serve the purpose, to serve them in the music. So yeah.
All right. So let's talk Malawi reggae music. What space is it in right now? So when I say Malawi reggae, I'm talking more of the reggae that is sung in the mother tongue. In your local
Languages.
In the local languages. What space is it in now?
Growing up in Malawi, reggae has always been the music that I would say was up there, and I'm gonna say that because I'm comparing maybe to other places where I've been to, including South Africa, where reggae is played selectively in radio stations. But in Malawi, reggae has always been,
Mainstream.
yeah, it's been part of the mainstream music, and it still remains the same today, which is a blessing for me. And coming back to that question, why I chose reggae now, I guess you would understand, because reggae was like in my face, But I also resonated with the lyrics in the music, because when you say reggae, I mean, I'm sure hardcore reggae lovers would understand that there's subgenres within reggae, and also lyrics are different within reggae, So I grew up more on root conscious reggae, I grew up more on that, and somehow it was like it became my teacher, my mentor in many ways, because it guided me from almost being a rude boy to a better person, because those lyrics were always checking me like, wagwan,
Keeping you
what's
in
going
check.
on,
Yeah, well.
Yeah, even when I started smoking weed, I mean, first I didn't know why, but I guess to me it was trendy because
Reggae comes with that.
besides reggae, for me, I started weed because the so-called hardcore youngsters at school were smoking weed. So I want to be part of those hardcore dudes, But when I got into reggae, then reggae drew me more into Rastafari, levity. Then I started understanding now the purpose of the herbs, But I'll be honest with you, when I started smoking weed at first, it was more on a rude boy concept.
On a rude boy thing.
Because I want to be the tough guy. I want to be one of those guys that's when girls say
Peer
he
pressure.
smoke weed, yeah, he's a real man. He must smoke weed. You
True
know what I
say,
mean?
true
Yeah.
say.
So I passed through that, and it's a blessing that we're still here breathing and manage to conquer some of the negatives that one passes through in life, and hence willing to mention it. Because other people think maybe it only happens to them, but no, it happens to a whole lot of people. At the same time, I say sometimes don't allow it to happen. If somebody advises you, do not do wrong, because I was there. Listen. You don't have to experiment because
true.
really and true. I'm saying
I've been there.
if I was walking barefoot to school and I can afford to buy shoes for my kids, I'm not gonna say, "Hey, I was walking barefoot."
You need to experience.
That's not right.
It not works. So.
Yeah, man.
No, true talk. So now, old school reggae, it was more lyrical, like what you're saying, and more instruments.
Yes,
you know? And then now, when you compare it to the reggae that is being produced these days in the studios, what advice do you give to the artist who's gonna go to because I know you also do your production.
Yes,
you're
King. Yes,
there,
King. Yes, King.
So now with the live element that you do in reggae and the new reggae that you hear that is just coming out of the new studios these days, what advice do you give to these emerging reggae artists on the production, quality wise?
Truly speaking, you can never leave the foundation. You can never leave the foundation And my experience on the production side is that I've seen that you can modernize it to give it a new feel. You know, maybe you can up the tempo with certain things. But for reggae, I don't know the other music, but I've also seen it in hip hop. They do sample also some, other genres, other music, but old school. Uh, the foundation is always great if you use it as a reference. When you use it as a your encyclopedia towards building a new genre, whatever. So, I mean, if we go to the song like What a Bam Bam, dun, 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 dun. I mean, that Toots and the Maytals way back, but it's so relevant with the
Even
youth
now.
today, and even R&B has taken a bit of it, and But what I'm saying, there was somebody who was smart enough to say we cannot throw away the foundation, the past. So always go and listen to the old school music and see how I would use the word modernize it, or how you can incorporate it into the
Modern day sound.
now time, yeah. But that will always be your base. That will always be your foundation. I mean, I look at production of like Junior Gong. He mentions it. He loves the heavy bass and drums. So he goes to he's more into like Sly and Robbie, which is more like Black Uhuru. I mean, look, Welcome to Jamrock.
True.
It's an old.
It's an old
You know what I'm
rhythm.
saying? But he had a way of bringing
Just
it back.
modernizing
You know
it
what I'm saying?
and-
So yeah, I believe you cannot dash away with the old school. You still have to use it as your reference in many ways. Even arrangement, even the writing skills, even the singing, the harmonizing, everything, because they laid the foundation, and we cannot.
Now say it's not important.
Nah, it wouldn't work. It will sound different, and it might not even be in the category of reggae.
So would you give, let's say I organize 5-10 young artists,
Yeah, man.
Would you give workshops on
course.
how to incorporate? Because
Yeah.
I see there's a lot of detachment, when the elders in the game, reach to a certain level, and they don't know who to pass the baton stick to, So I feel there's that detachment, and it's you elders that need to come back to the youths and say, yo, let's do this, Would you do that?
To be honest, Rico, I mean, that is very powerful and very true, And on a broader aspect, again, very true. Personally, and I'm not trying, because I'm on camera and all that. I'm not trying to sound all goody.
I believe you tell me even.
Yeah,
Off camera.
but we need to pass the baton, and personally, because like I said, I mean, I've made mistakes in life, many mistakes in different ways. Sometimes the youth are the problem also, in a sense. When the elder tries to speak, you think, what has he achieved? He's got nothing to show.
That's very true.
But that teacher was nothing to show. I mean, if you look at, remember, Joe Higgs? Joe Higgs gave lessons to the Bob Marleys and them. Joe Higgs was not really a famous or great, or I would say famous artist, but the people he taught became something else.
More famous
so
than him.
I personally, when the elders speak, those who are older than me and experienced than me, because everybody has his own elder, I listen, because that one word could be so impactful into my life or my career and in every way. So the youth also should be humble and listen to the elders. Even if the elder did not make it, if you don't have a name, you think, but just listen to the words, because look, maybe that's the only thing he can share with you at that time.
His
Personally,
experience.
yes. Personally, I'm willing to share, but I'm saying you only share with people who are also willing to listen at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So, but for me, I'm saying we need that, because for the sustainability of the genre and
industry.
life itself, we need to share a lot of lessons. But youngsters, sometimes when they discover something, they think it's new. I've experienced this with my children. Sometimes they tell me, they only come back, Daddy, you were right. I say, I know I was right. personally, also, what my parents were saying, I've gone back to my parents. I say, you were right. They say, we know we were right. And they were right. They were right. Yeah. So to the youth out there, youngsters or upcoming or who haven't had the experience that some of us in the music industry, reggae especially, when we say a word, maybe because you have a hit song or you have a video playing on channel or whatever, that's good. But I can still put a little word that you need to hear it. I mean, lessons are never enough in life. True. So be willing to also listen
and learn.
Make that, and learn. You know what I mean? And for me, sharing with you shouldn't end with you also. You know what I mean? You bank it so they could also share and we continue sharing. So even if you don't need it, take it, preserve it, make sure when it's needed in the future, share it with somebody else. Then we keep preserving everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wise words from the elder. He says that, the first and most important thing to the youngsters is that you need to listen when the elders talk. And also elders talk to the youths because,
True.
we are the fountain, So
sure.
Now let's talk when you left Malawi, coming to South Africa, already you were a recording artist who's now singing reggae. And then you come into South Africa. I would like to know, how did you break through? Because I'd love to believe that the name Born African is now known in the reggae circles of Mzansi. The breakthrough, the hustle, the struggle. How was it?
Yo, brethren, you allow me to keep some of the lessons for the book. I think I should make time and write a book.
You need to.
Yeah. But I'll share some of what I went through, which needs to be told. Yeah, because one's lessons is somebody's inspiration. One's struggles, one's experiences. So, truly speaking, when I came this side, I was inspired by one great Malawi artist by the name of Lucius Banda. May he so
rest in power.
Yeah, man. And what he had done, he had come here, recorded, and it was a big hit, instant hit in Malawi. And I listened to music, I was like, better studio, better delivery, better mixing, better mastering. I'm like, this guy put a winning formula together. And then when he was home, I could see his marketing also was on point. And his lyrics resonated with the situation at home at that time.
At that time.
So the timing, everything was in place. And I said, I think the cake is big. We can share this cake. If I wanted to emulate that. So hence I planned of coming these shows. But truly speaking, my first trip was to go to Zimbabwe because Zimbabwe also had better facilities than Malawi at that time. They had better studios, to be honest. So I'm sure they still have. And I went to Zim. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough money. You know what I mean? I didn't have enough cash than I had thought. And then Zim was like a trip cut short. So I was in Zim in Harare, hanging around with brothers in Bari, going to different dancehall places.
Yes.
I also learned a few things there, and I also shared my
the experience.
Yeah, my experience. We were going to Hatfield. I stayed there for a few weeks, and then I had to go back home to Malawi, then prepare again for SA. So yes, and I came to South Africa, and I had this thing in mind. Because I'm thinking, I'll just present my demo and then you get a record contract. And then, when you're young, you have your own perception of how things are done. And honestly, like you're saying, I didn't have any elders who could advise. Okay, maybe I didn't share that story with anybody. Maybe if I had shared with somebody who knew, I would have said, no, it doesn't work like that. Don't waste your time.
Don't do that.
Yeah, Then I remember going to Gallo Studios in downtown, downtown studios. Where the late Lucky Dube was recording at the time, and I had an opportunity to meet I first met Lucky Dube's road manager, and we spoke, and he was like, okay, I'll give me your tape, and I'll give it maybe to the right people, I'll come back to you. Of course, I didn't have a phone, but somehow You can call this number as a landline, And, to be honest, I managed to speak to the guy back, and he was like, your music is not really what they're looking for, but again, keep going, improve.
Don't stop.
And also at the moment, according to they have enough on the plate. So we don't just sign people because you gotta have a budget, you gotta have a plan with them, Of which at the time I didn't understand. I want you to sign me. Now I understand that if a person cannot sign, it's not because you're not good all the time, but they have to have a budget for you because it's business at the end of the day.
True.
How much are we injecting into you and how much do we expect to come out of you? And do we have that? Because we can't record you and keep you there sitting. We're not releasing, we're not shooting video, we're not marketing you. So now I understand. And then, of course, things didn't work out. And then money was finished. And then luckily within that time, I had met some Malawian homeboys that were based here or were coming to do business, going back somewhere based here, And I was introduced to Bruma Flea Market.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so now the brothers broke on the street, nowhere to go, losing a bit of hope, and big city, not understanding everything, and somebody introduced me to wooden art crafts to say, brother, here we make money because we sell these.
This is what you do.
And you're not going to be coming and say you're doing music and
and the music is not giving you bread now.
You're going to suffer.
and not make music.
Yes, and that person put me on his store. He had a little store to help him sell. So he would put like prices, and then he says, these are my prices. Anything on top of that, because curious, even today they don't have a fixed price, but they have the minimum, but they don't have the maximum, So he would say, let's say I want 20 rand for this. Sometimes I could sell that one for 100 rand.
So last year.
Then I'll take the 80.
The 80.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't even.
I just have to be committed and I just have to read the buyer. If the buyer is excited about it, I know I got him. That's just how it works on the street. So you find that there was tourists, and those days of Mandela and them, everybody was excited coming to South Africa. I mean, people still come now. So Bruma was like, yo.
It was a hub.
Yeah, it was a hub.
It was a tourist hub there.
I remember meeting people like Chaka Khan, Whitney Houston, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Malik Yoba, and all these people, when I meet them, it was either autography, I met Shaggy. I met even the first show of Shaggy at the Standard Bank Arena. I didn't know where Standard Bank Arena was, 1995. I had to just ask Maxi Tax. Those days we had Maxi Tax. I'm like, I want to go to this place. I went there alone. That's when I met the elder, Jack Crucial.
Yeah, man.
Get real soon, elder. I met Jack Crucial. He's selling those magazines, and I was attracted there. So I'm young, and I'm like, and I bought one of those magazines. I think I still have it,
From the elder.
Yes, King. And he had music. Then he told me where his shop was in Nugget, somewhere around North, what we call MTN today.
MTN,
he had a store there, and then
a music shop, I believe.
Slowly but sure started now expanding. But the thing is, I can't leave the hustle where I make the money now. And it's not my shop. It's somebody's store where I make something out of it. But my interest is still in music, so I have to juggle between the two, sitting at the store full time, making a little something. But again, I need to expand my links, being able to visit, you know what I mean? Through the passage of time, Sam Jack Crucial started hosting the dance in Yovi Recreation Center before we were blacklisted as Rastas to do dance there. And then slowly but sure, he did also some shows at the Base Valley Park.
True.
Yeah, I started attending them. When you have a little money, a little change, you're able to maneuver, you're able to get transport and reach out.
True.
So as things were getting better financially, I was also able to, to free up myself and attend to certain things. And, I remember meeting Jabun Kanyele, and Lucky Dube just stayed up the road in Bruma. I met him a few times, took some lessons from him. Maybe you see him once in 3 months, but every time, because there was a spar shop and game by Bruma, just opposite McDonald's back in the day. So he would always come and shop there. So I knew I'll meet him. funny enough, some people didn't recognize him, but I mean, I guess
You knew,
yeah, I
'cause
saw
you
him. I was
were
like,
like-
brethren, and he knew this boy is gonna come running towards
No
me.
matter what.
Yeah, and just even meeting him, shaking hands, and asking a few questions was inspiring enough. Trust me. I met Jabun Kanyile, I met Brahu Masakela. Brahu was very bubbly, and I would always ask questions how to get into the music industry. I met a hollow. Even Boom Shaka back there, they used to come and buy their big walking stick, them girls, them.
Yeah.
And they were hard, brethren, but I have to focus on the business anyway.
Yeah, man.
But yeah. They were oozing that confidence, and you're like, yeah,
And they were
these are the
hot.
girls I see on TV, blood clot. And they'll come there, it's like, brother, how much is this? And like, yeah, oh, this one? But everybody I met, I had to ask
So
them.
the celebrity lifestyle
Yes,
rubbed
King.
off
Yes,
also off
yes,
on
King.
you from that time.
Yes, King. Everybody I met, I had to ask him something about music. And like I'm saying, I took those lessons. Some of them, I still use them today. I remember meeting the Eric Donaldsons, Fred McGregor, Andrew Tosh. I mean,
Wow.
back then, meeting the late Jumbo.
Yeah.
Everybody I met, I'll be honest with you, brother, I had to ask something. And that kept me going.
Musically.
Yes, because I'll be honest with you, none of them said, leave music, it's not going to help you. They just warned me and told me the truth about
The game.
how there'll be rough times, there'll be good times. If you strike it right, this is what happens. If you strike it wrong, the dangers of other things, elements within the music, like drugs. Everybody told me everything.
And it made you a better musician.
It made me a better person even today. Because the music is life, so it made me a better person.
Because I'm thinking, you've put money in the music already and it didn't come out. Now you are hustling and you are now taking that money,
Putting
and
it back where
it's been yammed already, So that drive.
Yes, it's the people now that I made. You just have to find a winning formula. I did it wrong, and also, it's like I would say, Usain Bolt. You didn't win the first time. But
True.
you keep running until you win.
Because it's my
Yeah, you have
So you gotta believe in yourself.
I would
first.
say I had coaches. I call them coaches. So
Yeah.
these people coach me.
And these are A-lister coaches.
Yeah, man. And I can't pay them back. To pay them back is to share lessons with others.
True, sir.
So really and true, like I said earlier on, listen when a person speaks. Even if that person is not famous or you think he's never made
Didn't
it, what
make
can you
it,
tell
but-
me? Oh, you, Masakela, may he so rest in power again, invited me to the club. He had a club in Corner Rocky and Cavendish. Is it Cavendish?
Just by the market.
It was cool, man. Yeah, it was cool. He encouraged me. He's that guy. I mean, that man was well traveled, well experienced, and there's no way you would not listen to him. I mean,
True.
He's been everywhere in the world, performed with everybody, and now fast forward. I'm talking. This is 95, 96.
Wow.
Guess what? 2010, I met up with Ziggy Marley when he came for the World Cup. We are at Mero's Hotel. We a bunch of crew. I'm with Jay Kasha. Remember Jay Kasha?
Yeah, I remember DJ.
Hey, Jay Kasha, where you at?
Yeah, man, you gotta link
Jay
up.
Kasha, link up.
Jay Kasha,
you're
link
the elder
up.
that need to share the lessons,
The true say, all the elders, you have to link up.
Man, show up yourself.
This is the platform, Reggae Connect Africa, in conversation with the legendary Board Africa. Go on, my father.
So I'm sitting there with Ziggy, and I just hear Ziggy say, somebody ask him, like, so you can have a shot at Freedom Pack, and so like, yeah. I'm like, how are you gonna plan this? Like, Hugh Masakela is gonna put it together. Hugh is our man. And I said, he is the man. You know what I mean?
True.
Like they had worked with him when they were youngsters, traveled, toured on Broadway and all these things.
Now they're here.
You know what I mean? But they never cut the links. They knew that there's links, you don't cut them.
You don't cut the links.
Burn the bridges. You keep them.
Lesson number 2.
You see, I used to have this small little diary. I was buying then from CNN. I still have them today from 1994. I was writing people's numbers. You'll be shocked that some of those numbers work today,
Yes,
especially for
today.
overseas people. The landline,
Yeah.
they still work today. So since I didn't have a phone, I would just write Malik Yoba. And you say, if you don't find me at home, most of the times I'm doing theater, I'm on the road. But you can leave a message. I'll get back to you. And when I got the phone years later back, we used to talk. A whole lot of them that gave me landlines, their numbers still work today. But again, the book is where I kept enough information, where I kept some hooks, where I wrote. So I'm always at school. I have my bag. I have things written in you know what I mean? The recorder is there.
Everything is just story.
A
It's
mobile,
just
a
story.
mobile office.
Because you'd find of late I see enough artists, they just want to freestyle. We don't write. We don't at the top of their head they're onto something.
Yeah.
How dangerous is that?
I wouldn't call it dangerous. Because I mean, I've been to different places, and yeah, you're right. Most youngsters are doing it that way, but for me, it's okay with the little that I've experienced. It takes sometimes long to finish a song,
Okay.
to be satisfied. Sometimes you feel you're right, and then you're not right. And on the other hand, personally, I feel it takes the art of writing, because the art of writing, there's a connection to it when you put pen on paper. It's like, for me, right? When I was in school, when I'm copying the notes on the board myself in my book, it's like I'm also studying. So when I'm writing the lyrics in a book, it stays than when I'm just freestyling, you know? But why I'm saying it's not dangerous, because I've come across artists who cannot read, who cannot write, and their ability, their genius is on them just spitting words. So if it's a situation beyond them that they didn't go to school to be able to write, unfortunately, I mean, we cannot blame them.
True,
They have the talent, but the only way they do is they would ask maybe somebody after the song is done, like, you can write these lyrics for me. Some of them have this sickness, what do you call it? They shake when they want to write. What do you call it?
Yeah.
You know?
What do they call it? More of the Parkinson disease of the
Yeah,
head.
them type. Like King Yellowman, he doesn't write. Junior Gong don't write. I was shocked. I met the Mali kids, most of them, they say when we were at the studio at Tough Gong, and they just vibes. They call it, we just vibe.
Just vibe,
you know?
that's it.
Then,
Well, I think that comes with years and years, and now it becomes your thing.
yeah. But they admitted what I'm saying, that sometimes the song takes too long to finish.
Let's talk about that. You opened 2025 with a trip in Jamaica. The first pictures I didn't, because South Africa has the beaches. You've been to the beaches. I don't think the beaches in Montego Bay wowed you, but I saw you get in a truck at the famous Tough Studios.
That is it.
Let's talk Jamaica. How was it? Is it from the links from that time, or you were just like, no man, I've worked so hard. Let me just where can I go?
No, it's a combination of a lot of things, but on the base of it, it's the love of reggae, the love of music, and the ambition to say, I want to go to what I personally call the maker of reggae, True. And it happening that time is where I would say it's a combination of things, So, I mean, we've done works out there, and some people recognize our works, So I was home in Malawi, Burning Spear show. I was involved, and then came back to SA, and I went back home. Then I met up with my friend, who's now the current Minister of Trade and Industry in Malawi.
All right.
Called me to his house. He's like, Bon, hey, come through, And we're talking there, and he's like, Bon, I'm planning to go to Jamaica. I'm like, I've always planned to go to he had planned to go to Jamaica with this other brother. He's also an artist in Malawi, Ane Matumbi, you know.
All right.
So he says, "You want to come?" I'm like, "Of course I want to come." You know what I mean? So it's like everything is on me. I'm like, "What?" Because of obvious, the time he was telling me I want to go to Jamaica, I was not ready financially, but I've always wanted to go.
To go.
You know what I mean? So he says everything is on me. I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yes, man." I'm like, "Well,
Why not?
why not?"
Jaja bless me.
You know, why not? And he's like, "Bon, you know you've got better links there, and you definitely be needed on the trip." I'm like, "You don't have to do it for that. Links can be shared without me being there." It's like, "No, I want you to come. We're going to watch Buju, and you're coming. I'll buy the ticket. I'll be honest with you, I didn't spend a cent, Rico. I didn't spend a cent. I mean, such brothers, such friends are very few."
Thank you, Minister. I'm coming.
He wasn't minister then. He wasn't a minister then.
Well, the title stays. It don't
True.
go.
True. No, but just to make it clear, because people think because he was already a minister. No, he wasn't a minister then.
Yeah.
He was appointed minister after we had come back from Jamaica. He was appointed Minister of Labor. Then they moved from Minister of Labor a few weeks ago as Minister of Trade and Industry. But the person loves reggae, and Buju is his favorite artist. So he taught himself, like, I was writing to Buju when he was in jail, and I told him, "I'll come. When you come out, I'll come see you." He's a man of his word, as far as I'm concerned. So even when we met Buju, they reminded each other, "Oh, it's you who wrote me that. It's you who wrote me that." I was like, "Wow, this is beautiful." You know, so Rico, without really lying about the whole thing, I mean, I would go to Jamaica on my own. Yes, I would afford to go there, but my trips were fully funded by a friend of mine, you know,
Who loves reggae?
to the max.
Reggae Connect Africa,
max.
from Africa to Jamaica.
You know what I'm saying?
So, when you were in Jamaica now, I know from 2015, you were with the messenger,
Luciano, yeah, man.
Papa Lucci, you know. Those are the days when you were running the club Vibes, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember
Wow,
clearly.
Rico. Wow.
I remember. So, when you are now in Jamaica, because you've received and done tracks with Morgan Heritage in Africa,
Yes,
you know, Lutan Fire,
Yes.
I could name, you know. Now you are in Jamaica. How was the feeling when they saw you? How did they accept Born African?
First, I would say I did not meet most that have been to these shows, because most of them, Jamaica is home, it's a base, but they are always traveling, touring to make money, performing, you know? So I was lucky to meet Luciano, but it was really a quick one, you know, because they're always performing. Sizzla, we spoke many times, but we couldn't meet, you know? But they really felt like humbled and honored, because they know the distance it takes for one to reach there, and for one to make that decision and being able to reach there. I felt like a king, you know. They just say anything you want.
Just let
Call
us
this
know.
person. Call this person. I had the privilege and honor to even meet the Prime Minister in Jamaica.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to say something to brothers and sisters. You know, Jamaica, Patois is their language. It's not like here, maybe somehow mostly spoken by reggae lovers or Rastas, if I may say. But in Jamaica, even the Prime Minister will speak
Patois. Everybody's born
it's a
speaking
beautiful
Patois.
vibe, you know. A petrol attendant to the minister, to the manager of the bank. It's just how they speak. It's just how they speak. Yes, they can speak normal English, but it's not far away from Patois.
From
Trust
Patois.
me, it's Patois all the way. So for me, it was like I kept shaking my head, like, okay.
Everywhere you just hear
living in Yove for the longest while, also Yove became a small little Jamaica, Tando baseline. So I kept shaking my head. I'm not a baseline. Okay, I'm not a Tando. Okay.
What is happening?
This is not Bada, right? Oh, this is not blue. This is not blue. Oh, it's not Rico.
It's not cheese.
It's not Jasid. Okay, all right. I'm like. So I kept saying, no, maybe somewhere as I'm moving, I'm going to hear somebody speaking normal English. And I realized from a security guard, I was like, oh, for real, I'm in Jamaica. It's Patois all the way.
It's Patois all the way.
Patois all the way. And it
Beautiful
made me
vibes.
not speak Patois because my Patois sounded fake.
we were chilling with Perfect Giddy Money the last time, you know. So one thing that I've learned from what all those other places that, remember, we are also in your footsteps, following everything you've done, you know.
Yeah.
One thing that I've learned is when Jamaicans are there, don't speak patois, speak
Same here.
English.
Same here.
Speak
Same
English
here.
because you will ridicule yourself. But most importantly, you can where you hearing them. Because you can't hear.
No, so one thing, I think this comes with growing up. Even you, if I don't hear you, I'm not ashamed to ask you. What did you say? I didn't hear you. You know what I mean? I didn't hear you. I didn't hear that. I remember my friend that I was with, Anima Tumbi, and I didn't really know this word. He asked these women that we were hanging out with, and he says, what does it mean when it says rotted? Then he says, then they laugh. He says, I thought he says rot head.
It's not rotted.
It's like bombo. It's like Jesus Christ, rotted. So it's an expression they keep using.
Yeah.
How he picked it up, me, I wasn't really there, you know. Rotted. Everyone's rotted. You know? But I agree with you. If one is to learn from who we know, definitely Perfect Gidima will be a master. Like in the situation you put it. You cannot try to outdo him. Or you cannot try to say, I know this. Then you're not going to learn, because then you withdraw from expressing himself more, because you don't compete with a teacher.
It's all about learning.
The platform should be given to the right person at the right time. So I agree with you.
All right. So now you've told us the whole story from Malawi coming here. I would like to know what made you now then decide to say, okay, you know, I'm not just an artist, you know. Now I need to go into promotions. You know, what drives you into that?
I gotta mention something, Rico. You know, South Africa, being in South Africa for so many years has taught me a lot as a person, you know, as a business person, as a musician, as a human being. And I will attribute this to being in South Africa and growing up, mingling with people from different places, from Zimbabwe, from Zambia, from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Ethiopia, from Tanzania, from Mozambique. It comes in handy. I've learned a lot of lessons, you know, than maybe if I was just in Malawi with just Malawian people. Here I could say maybe I've had the opportunity to learn from people from
the whole world.
Thank you. OAU, you know, Africa Union, the whole world, you know.
The whole world.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I feel like I was in varsity somewhere. I keep learning, you know what I mean?
It is the first Joburg varsity.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I have a friend, King Roots. He's your friend too?
Yeah. Big up to the elder. I want you. You know, we spoke about it, King Roots. You see, the elder's mentioning you now, so that means, you know, you have to come.
You know what he said one time to me? Was walking in CBD, right nearby MTN North there, you know, when he used to come and go back to the States. And I think that, he had come from the States visiting and he was going to go back. So we're walking. Of course, I'm leading the way because it's my city now. You're a visitor. He told me something. He says, born, you'd survive in America. You survive in Brooklyn. You survive in New York. I'm like, why you say that? He says, it's the same thing.
It's the same
The way you understand this city, the way you maneuver, the way you do things, trust me, you can understand there.
I've heard somebody also say that Joburg is like New York and even cleaner. You know,
it could be. He was talking more of like now.
America.
He was talking now the way we're smart in the street, smart, the way we're able to juggle A, B, C, D. I'm sure the infrastructure also
is also the same.
You know,
remember, Joburg has enough tall buildings.
True. Even Ziggy Man, I remember he's in California. When we were at Rocky, he was like, "This is like California."
Yeah.
When we were walking out of Tando into the cars, because they were on their motorbikes, so I jumped into Kimzo's car, going to Mero's. He was like, "This is like California." So, big up South Africa.
Big up Joburg.
You got it right. But the lessons of meeting different people, like
Life
I said,
lessons.
is one thing that I'll always appreciate this place for. You know, I've got friends from different places. So the business part of it comes from all of that. First, I would say I listen when people talk. So I was seeing that reggae is still sort of like a subgenre, you know? And again, we don't get bookings enough. And I saw, like I said, Elder Jack Crucial doing his thing, and I saw different sound systems, Sounds of Entertainment, doing their own thing. And I was like, how can I contribute to the betterment of this? Then I started, so that comes from listening and seeing that, we don't have sound, we don't have venues, we don't have this. So I said, hey, I could get involved by, like you said, I love live music. Some people say they would not book me because I insist on playing with live bands, but it's okay because it's not about me. It's not about me. I support the genre not because it's Born African, because it's reggae. So if reggae wins, I'm good, But yeah, that's what happened. I got inspired to see also. Remember, I had to understand to survive in a big city, you have to pay rent,
True.
groceries. Now I'm not under mama's roof, anymore. So I had to understand business. I've never done business ever before,
Yeah.
But I had to learn
From the
in the big,
streets.
yes, to say, okay, to sustain this must happen. To sustain this must happen. If you want to expand, you expand by making sure you preserve this, and this is still happening. This, you know what I mean? So, yeah, lessons were learned from South Africa, from Johannesburg, honestly.
And then that's when you gave birth to Nubian.
Nubian, Khoisan, the studio. One time I was into logistics and,
Property.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Construction.
Yeah, so that's one thing I'll never take away from South Africa. It has groomed me and taught me a lot of lessons. Not to say from South Africans, but again from Africans, because I'm saying all these lessons were learned from South Africans, Zimbabweans, Malawians, Tanzanians, Nigerians, Ghanaians, Mozambicans.
Ethiopians.
I'm telling
All
you,
of them,
from
you name it.
Botswanas, from Swaziland, from everybody. So all of you guys, you know who you are. Big up yourself.
Bless her.
And
Yeah.
South Africa for providing the platform. I'm thankful.
Joe Arselberg coming to you live right now on the podcast Reggae Connect Africa. We are here in the studio with the leader. They say that, it's time we give the legends the flowers so that they can smell them while they're alive and not just come and put them on the grave. It's a bad thing,
True,
So thank you for coming through, Elder, and blessing us, The program is just an hour long, and we've got maybe just about 3 more minutes.
All good things must come to an end. All good things.
But I just feel like, no, we were just now starting to get into it. The travels, reggae has taken you places.
True.
It has made you meet so many people,
True.
So what can you say to all the reggae lovers out there that want your music, to know where you are and how to get in touch with you? What can they do? Any upcoming projects? All that.
Oh, yeah. Let's link up on Facebook, Born African. So it's BORN, African with a K, not C.
Not C.
AFRIKAN. I insist on the K because most people, they just put African with a C.
Because-
So Born African with the K, KAN at the end. And some people stop short. They say Born Africa. I said, no. Don't
it's
forget
Born
the N.
African.
Yeah, put the N at the end. So they can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, Born African official, on Twitter. It's Born African again, and for sure, there's things lined up, but still in the pipeline. I'm recording. I want to have new music out there. Maybe I've done about 20 songs, and looking more at also traveling. I'm thinking, if possible, expand. Maybe perform in Europe, perform in America, perform in, And this is what I also wish for my fellow reggae artists that are within these shores.
To move.
Yes, if we could try and move, and also maybe opportunity and finances available. Let's take South African artists to Malawi, Zimbabwe artists to Malawi, Malawi to Zimbabwe, Malawi to
Reggae Connect.
Swaziland. Kenya,
all these
Gambia, Ethiopia, Ivory Coast, Senegal, all them
Egypt.
places. Yes, King, to the pharaohs.
We are the original
Yeah, man.
pharaohs, so it needs to go there.
You know what I'm saying?
Sounds of the motherland, in the motherland, in the studio.
Yeah.
Deep conversation with the legendary, born African, So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Remember, like the page. Yeah, like the page on Facebook, Reggae Connect Africa. We are there on TikTok, Reggae Connect Africa again. Gmail account, Reggae Connect Africa, gmail.com. That's the email address. But most importantly, on the YouTube page, Reggae Connect Africa. And follow him, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Born African with a K and not a C. So signing out, I'm your host, Rico Myers, and we are saying blessed love, blessed light, But before you go, a cappella. Just the last 30 seconds.
What a beautiful place we know, Mama Africa. What a land filled with so much love, Mama Africa. So much to share, so much to see. Land where the people live in harmony. I did this song with Morgan Heritage. I'm singing Peter's part.
Yo, rest in peace to another legend, Peter Morgan,
Yeah,
Signing out, Rico Myers, a.k.a. Muyezari Myers, Reggae Connect Africa. And with me in the studio today was the legend, King Nelson Shaba, a.k.a. Born African.
Chimango.
Chimango. Zabuino. Tatokoza. Zabubo. Peace.